Welcome back to Wedlocked and Loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.
You women.
Do not lump us all in one category.
So you girls, and lie and stretch the truth and try
girls,
to get us jammed up.
First of all, I'm a whole ass woman, right? Think about
no
that.
No disrespect.
Sounds like it to me. So why can't y'all? What is it with men that they just can't walk away?
Depends how good it is. You don't want to give that away.
Greetings, everyone. A new episode of Wedlocked and Loaded. I am Daniel Laurent.
And I am Leah Nicole.
And we are back with some deliciousness, some ratchetness, some craziness, some, all that good stuff. But I think before we get into any topics, we want to, I guess, just be transparent about what has been happening, thus delays and all that type of good stuff. So, we sent our son back to school. He's at Morehouse, and there's what I've been gathering, and I think for folks who are paying attention to the news with Howard and the 500 students that were unenrolled, and I think they rectified like 200 of them or something like that. Maybe it's more now, I don't know, but there are some system issues and communication issues, and I've heard from others that go to HBCUs. I think that there are just some things that can absolutely be improved. And with that being said, there's construction happening, there's displacement, there's group chats, there's information, there's people saying stuff. Some of it's true, maybe some of it's not. And so as a parent who's sending our child, it's a lot. And Leah and I haven't been arguing per se, but definitely maybe on opposing sides of how things should be handled or the type of grace that should be given, etc. And so I wanted to level set that before, and I don't know what you want to share or not share, but
Excuse me. I think you pretty much. Well, what I will say is, since you did mention HBCUs, I will say that the issues or lack of communication, lack of systems, those things are not just what's the word I'm looking for?
Isolated.
They're not just happening at HBCUs.
Sure.
But I think for us specifically, because everything is so far away, it's not as easy as taking a 20-minute car ride or an hour car ride or a 2-hour car ride, right? Like, hell, not even 4. Like, we can't even get there in 4 hours if we decided to drive. Like, it just takes a lot to get back and forth. And this year for me, I was hoping that, especially the way we had it set up and in terms of how he was moved out over the summer, this year I was hoping like, okay, you know what? It doesn't have to be a big to do because he's already set up, the little things that need to be replenished, we can figure that out because his stuff is already in storage. They're going to deliver it. It's not going to be much to set up, but like this year was not that. He was placed in a new dorm that was not complete yet. not so much of a problem. They found housing for the 300 plus students who are displaced because of the dorm not being finished. But then, you know, there was also just the uncertainty, and, you know, kudos to the parents who felt like, you know what, go ahead, kids, y'all figure it out. Y'all probably had less stress than we did, you know. But for me, there was just too much uncertainty to have him go down there and, you know, be alone trying to navigate the day before school starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, no thank you, and no thank you, you know. um but we do what we do, and we made it happen. And for that and many other reasons, I am grateful and very appreciative of you. You know, there was even a moment when, um, you know, we were talking to one of the school administrators who was, you know, at the hotel trying to assist us.
The lady.
Yeah, you know, she, you know, no,
she was fine.
she was very fine. I think, you know,
she wasn't given the answers that you wanted, and so
well, not it. Well, beyond that, right? I think the last minute switch up, you know, the last minute switch up was just like, I can't wrap my head around this. Like, I've already wrapped my head around my son being in a hotel. I've already wrapped my head around, I wrapped my head around a few things, right? And I'm also sitting with my son telling me, or our son, excuse me, telling us, well, he said it to me, so I can say me, you know, how he feels about the situation. And initially, he was fine, but then when we toured the room, he was like, "Oh yeah, this is not going to work." You know what I'm saying? And for me, scholarship or not, money is money. You know what I mean? And, you know, he's not on a full ride, you know, but even if he was, it doesn't, I want to set my children, my young adults up for success. I don't want to send them off knowing that we're paying X amount of dollars a semester, and in the beginning of the semester, systems are not aligned where success is, you know, it's going to be the optimal space where success can be, where it can thrive.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
I will say, you know, without saying, I mean, we didn't break any laws by any stretch, but without being so transparent, what I will say is we went down, you know, we got down there earlier. We tried to be proactive. We had, you know, something that was a great kind of middle ground. We felt good about it. And then when we got down there to actually check in, you know, what we had done, which we felt good about, and everything was all
well, we
set.
didn't do anything, so I want to say, I mean,
Well, I just in a sense, I'll just say that we were being proactive,
yeah,
or so we thought.
we were,
You know,
but there was last minute changes on the back end, which,
for whatever reason,
yeah,
and we don't know, and no one's gonna, I think, be honest about it.
yeah,
I have my suspicions of why it happened.
yeah.
But so that's
what threw me for a loop.
So that's what Leah
and
was
then,
mentioning
you
about.
know, initially, like, I started talking to her, and, you know, normally you know, I don't want to blame it on this, was it PCS, post concussion syndrome, right? Normally, I can handle, you know, changes, and regulate my emotions to allow me, you know, where I can actually, like, communicate effectively. But like right now, it was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to step away because it's not even directed towards this person that was helping us, but the anger, like it was uncontrollable. And so when I say that, like I was grateful, I'm grateful and thankful that, you know, for you, is because it allowed me the space to be like, you know,
Tap out.
to tap out,
Yeah.
you know. Um
I mean, there was a lot of I would say moving him down there first, you know, I appreciate that. Um, I think, you know, having a two parent household is ideal and optimal and all of those things, and it's certainly a blessing, and not everyone has that. And so part of that is it allows a person to be able to, you know, tap out or have a minute, or just say, you know what, I really can't deal with this right now, and the other
mhm,
person.
mhm.
And when you don't have it, then you have no choice, and
No,
it
you
just
figure it
turns into
out,
whatever.
right? You figure it out.
um but you know, it definitely was it was a lot. I think, you know, we even went and looked at an apartment.
Mhm.
I want to send him a message too, because that, you
Mhm.
know, he was nice. But we looked at an apartment, and you know, that was a possibility, and all those things. And you know, but then it turns into, you know, he's not on campus, he's X amount of minutes away. How does that work to and from, and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And it just, you know, it just creates additional things. And again, I think systems wise, and this is coming from a person that I feel like I have a decent I have a decent grasp on systems and processes, and it's not perfect obviously, but like, you know, this happens, which then results in this, and if this happens, then you have this in place, and you know, ABCDE. It's all these things that's happening. It's just not necessarily ideal for people who are sending their kids off or traveling with their kids and learning things in real time on the fly.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, the dorm rooms are not big anyway, but to be like in a hotel room, that's just like a typical hotel room, you know, just for the listener, just picture like, you know, a single suite with like two double
Oh,
beds.
it's not even a suite. It's just a
Well,
just a
a
a, s-
single room,
a room. Yeah.
right? So like everything is you can like stand on one side of the room, and then maybe, I mean, I'm
That's it.
exaggerating, but like, you know, you kick your leg out and you're touching the door. I'm exaggerating, but the point is like
It's basic. Most
there's
people,
no space, and
yeah.
there's two people, and you're sharing a bathroom, you're sharing a shower, versus before like you go into like a common area and blah, blah, blah. So it's just all those things, and we get that it's temporary. And I guess, you know, I just I'm trying to be better. I'm not perfect at it, but I'm trying to be better at, like, you know what, um I don't want to allow certain things to just kind of ruin my day or ruin plans.
Mhm.
um you know, and so I think you felt, I called you mama bear on purpose. I think you know,
I'm protecting my cub.
and I said
Absolutely.
like, I'm staying out the way, you know, because even with me being papa bear, like it doesn't even matter. Like mama bear is reign supreme, and just like, just stay out the way. And so my job when I went down there, in my opinion, was just to just try to make sure things are resolved as much as possible. Hope that there's not too many disruptions. Step in when need be. Like I didn't feel like I had the opportunity to check out or be on cruise control. And so, you know, but it's also good for Daniel to see that, you know what I'm saying, and see that even though we resolve things, life doesn't have an easy button, and there's no snapping your finger and this gets done. And I want him to see more of just the difficulties and the nuances, and like sometimes things are not going to be ideal, and you may have nights where you don't have, I mean, right, not to veer off, but like, there are people without power, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And so
Hmm.
like it's not ideal. Like what do you do? And so, um so anyway, I think we brought the equipment down there, and the plan was to, record, a show or a couple of shows when we were down there, but it was just literally like 100 miles an hour. And then when we had a second, it just, you know, pulling out microphones just wasn't really. So,
I just feel like there really wasn't any seconds.
I mean, there were, but then I think,
Not, yeah, that,
like recharging was important because you just needed to have all your wits for the next day.
hmm.
I was fortunate to get, just a couple of kisses, and so that helped, you know.
Well, that's all you got.
Let me peel back again, because you got to always peel back this stuff.
I mean,
Anyway.
so and so then, the other thing that happened, and we're still kind of dealing with this now in real time, is we get to the Airbnb and check-in is at 4. We get there maybe 3:30, something like
Yeah.
that, or maybe even before that.
We got there about 3:30.
So 3:30, we're sitting outside and we're just waiting. We didn't bother asking the person, did you ask them
I
to?
didn't.
So
No.
we didn't bother asking, can we check in early? Just let it be. Just sat outside. A woman just all of a sudden walks up to the door. She looks at us. She walks up to the door. She doesn't have like a mop or a bucket or a vacuum cleaner or anything. She just walks to the door, maybe like 3:45 or 3:50 or something. And she just like walks in the house and closes the door. So we're like, okay. So, part of me was like, oh, well, it's probably the homeowner. She probably forgot something real quick, or maybe she wanted to, you know, lock some doors or something so we don't have, who knows. But I'm expecting her to come out, at 4 o'clock. She doesn't come out. Now it's 4:05, 4:10. Leah's calling.
I done call all the people. All the people I could call, I done call.
Yeah. She called and sending messages, blah, blah, blah. The homeowner doesn't respond. The girl finally comes out at like 4:20 or 4:22, whatever. And she like smiles at us and then kind of goes into her trunk. So I get out and I'm like, hey, is everything all set? She's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, blah, 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 and this, that, and the third. And, she was the cleaner. And so,
Mind you, checkout is at 10. Now, even if the people had late, if the people who was renting was checking out late, like to show up at 3:45, 3:50 when check-in is at 4 p.m. is wild to me.
And again, not communicate anything.
And there was no communication. So I reached out to the homeowner, the homeowner.
And maybe she didn't have to communicate, but the homeowner
Somebody
certainly
should have
have
communicated. The homeowner, fine, you got a team, they could have communicated, like, you know what I'm saying? So, the homeowner, I got the number from the source or whatever, and she did respond. She took a little while to respond, but she was just like, oh, essentially like, oh, apologies, that was a cleaner. Well, actually, no, excuse me. Her team, so the team, the property management team responded before the homeowner did, and it was like, apologies, that was a cleaner, whatever. Please let me know how we can assist you going forward. So once I got that, I reached back out to the homeowner and was just like, oh, for my, please disregard, because I just thought it was a random person. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like, oh, please disregard. I've been told that, the person that entered the unit was the cleaner, and she's gone now. She apologized again. So fast forward, now it's time to check in. Well, now it's time to go in. All of a sudden, the damn sky opens up. Like, okay, fine. That passes.
Sorry.
That passes. And then we'll just go towards checkout. The night before we we ended up, having such an amazing dinner. Oh my God, I can still taste the food. Oh.
Where was this?
At Blake's.
No.
The night before we left, yes.
Oh.
Anywho, clear skies all day. Now we're riding home. It is raining cats, dogs, horses, cows. Okay. The sky's lightening up. The sky is booming and it is lightening up. Like lightening up. I'm talking about the raindrops coming down are pounding on the freaking windshield. The tires, we just splashing and splishing. And like, it just was crazy. It just was so crazy. This is the night before. Part of me was like, oh my God, they're going to cancel our flight. We're not going to make it home. Like, what are we going to do? So I kind of did like a quick search to see, like, if we got stranded, because I never need that to happen again in my life and not have a second plan. But if we got stranded, you know what I'm saying? Like, not stranded, but, if they canceled our flights, like, what's next? Lo and behold, we get in the room. We get in the house. We're there. Boom, boom, boom. We're able to shower, lay in the bed. Power go out. I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Next morning, it's time to go. Because the power went out, there's a little delay. I reach out to the people and I'm like, hey, mind you, the internet done went off a couple of times, and I told the people, I was asking about the alarm, the lock, it had a keyless entry, and it was supposed, we were supposed to have a certain code. The code never worked. And so, but I did want to set the alarm, but it wasn't like a big to do, like if there was none. But I just assumed that the code that was for the keyless entry was going to be the code for the alarm. But I didn't want to attempt to try it because I knew the code wasn't working for the door. So, she responds about the code, and she's like, oh, guests don't have access to the alarm. Cool, fine, no problem. Like I said, I reached out, I was like, the internet's off. It ended up coming back on probably like 20, 30 minutes later. Fine, no problem. I'm not sweating any of these things. I'm just giving you a heads up of like the things that's happening. Also because you're texting me, asking me if everything is okay.
Yeah.
So, I reach out. It's about 9:30, and like, okay, checkout's supposed to be for 10 a.m. I'm like, hey, can we push it a little closer to 11? Power went out, blah, 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 da, da, da. So she responds at 11:14. And the response was, oh, so sorry to hear about that. Yeah, no problem. Totally understandable. The storm, no power, blah, blah, blah. We could push it close to 11. We usually charge a $25 an hour late fee. And it's like, okay, so one, you waited an hour and basically 45 minutes after to just say, like, if you would have said no, we would have just left with wet clothes and figured it out, because we had all fucking day. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Because we had all day. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But you waited until after the fact. And so for me, the way that I took it was, hey, you go to the doctor, you take a test, they don't call you, no news is good news, right?
Yeah.
This is the way I took it. So because you were not responsive, I'm assuming like it's not a problem. So now, I'm like, then she texts again, like, oh, the cleaners are there. You think I care? Like, I don't want to say I don't care, but like, are you negating the fact that when I came to check in at 3:45, somebody decided to walk in the house and clean it? Which obviously they couldn't have done a thorough clean, or whatever time she went in that damn house, 3:30, 3:40, whatever. She couldn't have done a super thorough job within that 40-minute time frame, 50-minute time frame. I don't care that the cleaners are there. They were there when we showed up to check in, which delayed our check-in.
Which delayed other stuff.
Right? Like, your time is not more important than my time. And I'm not saying my time is more important than your time. But like, if you were given grace, because you damn sure didn't say, hey, because of this, I'm gonna take off $20 or $1 a minute. Like, I'm gonna take off $50. Like, you didn't offer anything. You didn't offer to send a bottle of wine or nothing for the inconvenience, because it totally was an inconvenience, because now we gotta get in the house while it's pouring down raining. That don't feel good.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was this whole big back and forth to do. How these motherfuckers want to charge $7 for a fucking towel?
Well, you skipped a part. So she sent.
Oh, it was $25. Yeah. Then she gonna turn back around talking about some. Oh, I'm so. When we mentioned about Grace and hey, we couldn't check in on time, so we didn't think we didn't think we was gonna be charged for checking out a little bit late. And then it's like, oh, so now you want to tell me, okay, oh, the cleaner was only there for 10 minutes, basically saying like that 10 minutes wasn't a big deal. Okay, well, that's where you're mistaken, because it wasn't 10 minutes. Okay, it was more like almost an hour. And it is a big deal. And we're asking you for the same grace. Like, we're asking you to like, push it back almost an hour.
Well, she also, I sent the message because it sounded, her response, it just reminded me of like an AI response. So I asked, like, is this an auto generated response? And she said no. And then she clarified that her team sent it and said that it actually should be $150, but she's willing to
split the baby.
Split the baby, help us out for $75. And so now it went from 25 to 75. And so now it just turns into a whole other thing. And so, to put a button on this, like we're figuring that out, dispute and whatever, but it's just like, it just reiterates, and we didn't see her face, assuming that she is, black, black owned business, right? It becomes such a thing, man, when it comes to us and our transactions with each other and our expectations of each other, that may be unrealistic. And it's just very, very interesting to me. And I think that there are so many people that are in the service industry that are not service oriented. And it's so bizarre, and I think that, on one side, we could be, those who immediately, when we had a late check-in and the internet went out and, this, that, and the third, we could have immediately like took pictures, and the moment we were leaving, posted the awful review and gave 1 star or 1.5 star. Right? Leah's not that type of person, thankfully. I'm definitely not that type of person. And so that's not really, you know what I mean? It's almost like if we don't have nothing good to say, you don't say anything at all. When we've stayed at other places, I'm the one that like posts the reviews. Even when we've had like shortcomings, I still will post a review and just kind of highlight the things that went well, right? Or if nothing went well, then I just won't bother posting it. She has no idea of this context. So for all she knows, what I'm saying, whatever. But I just think that it's just interesting to me when it comes to our transactions, how we handle each other and how we care for, that transaction. It's just very, very strange. And you're enforcing, one, you said $25. So even if your team made a mistake, you have to eat that. You're making your team's mistake ours. And so, that's a learning opportunity to tell your team, make sure that you quote appropriately, right? You go to the register and a can of soup is marked for $1.99, but it's really $11.99. The proper thing to do is to adjust that for the customer and make sure you go and fix the prices for everyone else. But anyway, I just it's very, very interesting, and it's still not resolved. And what I'm not gonna do, back to the point of like, disturbing my peace and having something be upsetting, like, I don't want to put my head down and just ignore something and then it ends up ballooning to $250 for some reason. But also for principle, I just don't feel like we need to pay it. But also, I'm not really interested in like spending hours on phones or sending emails and all that nonsense. So this is a part that just makes a decent experience. It just kind of taints it and it sucks, So anyway, whether anyone got anything learning from that, like if you are a business owner yourself, what I will say is everything is fine and dandy when it is. The real true test of customer service is when there is a system failure.
And
So
how it's handled.
when your meal is off, when you check in and you're not allowed to get in, when you try to rent a car and the car is not available, like how you handle those things, that's the real customer service. So anyway, so that's part of the delay, so we apologize, not to make excuses, but life has definitely been life in 100 miles an hour. So that's that. The other thing was I wanted to highlight, there was an event in Boston, well, Canton technically, but it was an event in Boston, Serendipity Alamo, that was like really, really, really dope. It just reminded me of, being in like ATL or DC or, um, it was dope. And like people looked really good. Our folks just like, adult, clean. It was just really, really dope. Eric Benet was a surprise guest, and he came and performed and sang Chocolate Legs, and women were having full blown orgasms and like splashing all. I got like some all on my shirt, and I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. When you come wrap them chocolate legs around me.
You about to have some problems. I just want you to know.
And then Shy was there, and they sang like, oh, yeah, fall in love again. And so then it was, so they went off first. So I don't know if it was like orgasms. I think it was just like wetness, right? And just like almost
Can
like
you
if
be appropriate?
huh?
Be appropriate.
I am.
Like
Almost like if you're tenderizing meat and you're like banging the thing.
Oh my gosh.
So Shy like tenderized the meat. And so then when Eric Benet came on, it was like and so
Is that how you felt?
not me, but I called you
sure?
because I felt guilty, because I'm like, yo, I got it on my shirt. You know what I mean?
So why you standing that close to folks?
I don't know.
That's what you need to figure out.
I mean, I wasn't down there, but it was just
I
all over the
don't
place.
care where
Like,
you
what am I
was
supposed to
at.
do? Leave?
No. All right.
So it was just crazy. So
Yeah.
and I don't know if it was, I don't know, but
yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
So anyway, like it was just really, really, really
I'm going
dope.
back to Atlanta.
What?
Huh?
You being facetious or you
Keep
being
on
sincere?
talking.
Bitch. Anyway, so So
Oh.
yeah.
Did you just call me a bitch?
Nope. So
That's wild.
so anyway, like it was really dope, and so I just wanted to highlight that, and salute to Dane, and 9 Alarms are just really 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 dope. So
Danger.
yeah. And there was another reason of bringing that out. Okay, so the other piece of that, right, and not to necessarily turn it, I will say, like, maybe later that night or the next day, like, I just kind of thought, like, yo, man, and I've said this before on the show, like, being black in America, and especially at this time, is just like a mind fuck. And it was so dope to be there and to have a good time and just kind of let your hair down, let loose, all those good things.
You let your hair down, babe?
No, she let her hair down.
Mm.
And so, but and then you come home and it's just like, regardless of, well, I don't want to say regardless, in addition to local stuff that's happening, you have, I think is it 10 young people whose bodies are hanging from trees. You have Nolan Wells happening, and all the shit that's happening with that. You have Carmelo Anthony. I think he was just denied. His appeal was just denied, I believe.
Was it? I
think
I
so.
thought the opposite.
They changed they changed the judge, but they I mean, you could look at, they denied something.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just like, it's crazy, man. So I just don't, I don't know. And I guess, and you have a bunch of our folks that are in Martha's Vineyard. So every year, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole thing. And, Black joy is resistance. So you see it? What did it say?
That's insane.
They denied it, right?
They denied the appeal.
That doesn't mean he can't appeal again.
It's a Texas judge, of course. A Texas judge denied it.
And despite all the stuff coming out about, the brothers being racist and like doing stuff, and this documented stuff, and it's just it's a lot. And so, regardless of having a good time or smiling, I so go back and forth with, like, God damn, man. And then you have Nolan Wells, I believe August 19th. He just turned he would have turned 19 years old. And so you have, in contrast, our son is turning 19 in days. And it's just like, I don't know, man.
I think the world is definitely showing us, and has shown us, that it is a harsh and cruel place. And I think, the only way that anybody can survive it is to find the joy in whatever it is that brings them joy, right? And, like, I understand, like, trying to walk that tightrope, right? Trying to battle, like, do I stay in a happy place? And I think staying in a happy place doesn't mean that you are ignoring the sorrow and the hurt of others, or even ignoring what's happening outside your door, right? 3 blocks down the road, or a mile away, right? Like, you're not negating any of that, but I think it can be a really tricky space to try to navigate if you allow it to be, you know, and if you get stuck in all of the things that's happening out there and not really enjoying all the good and the happiness that is really surrounding you, that's just a bad place to be. And so I would encourage you to stay in the moments of happiness, live in that joy. Your eyes are open, your ears are open. You know these things exist. They always have. And you know that you are doing the best you can to circumvent some of these situations, but you can't do it all.
It's
And
not enough.
it's not enough. What?
That's not enough.
Well, I'm sorry
I
that you feel that way.
I mean, it's
It's not all on you either.
no, but unfortunately,
It's
you
not
know,
all on you. And then there are other people who are like you in that sense, who are trying to do the things, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't have happiness and joy and revel in it. It doesn't mean that.
yeah.
And so that's not gonna work.
I think with that, um, yeah, I want to because oftentimes we'll say people and or murders or things like that, and people had people were actual like living, breathing beings. So I just wanted to name the folks who um were found, right? And I don't know what these cases are. I know we don't hang ourselves from trees, so that's not a thing. So I hate that narrative, and I hate any of us who are echoing that sentiment because it's ridiculous. So uh and pardon mispronunciation if it's wrong. um Javion McGee, 18 years old. Denoris Richardson, 28 years old. Earl Smith, 58 years old. Um, Demartri, De, Demartravian Reed, 21 years old. Torrance Medley, 31 years old. Kyle Basinga, 21 years old. Juliana Nazita, 32 years old. Tania Nicole Miller, 24 years old. Gerard Jackson, 25 years old. Tasia Fortune, 29 years old. So may their souls rest. And I mean, I can't imagine what families, and with that, so their literal bodies were found hanging. But also I just wanted to, send a rest in peace also to Jason Arday, the professor.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know the story, he the youngest black professor. I think maybe the youngest professor, period. He was a professor. He died in London. A week ago, last Friday.
Yeah, he was accused of plagiarism,
Yeah,
and
at,
from what I
at Cambridge University.
from what I understand is that the school later then said it wasn't plagiarism, but
They didn't find anything, no. And somebody had like a dog with a bone and was, publishing a bunch of stuff, and then, a bunch of people like piled onto it. And, he couldn't take it. And I think he also I mean, not that this is a reason for it, but I think he was autistic.
Well, possibly. But one of the things was that, like, they are trying to say, like, his death was specifically just based on like his own mental health state. One of the things that they did bring up was that I believe he didn't talk until he was 11 years old, but I don't know if it was really proven that he was on the spectrum. Some people can just be selective mute. You don't know what trauma folks have experienced, and so because he didn't talk until he was 11, or of whatever age they said, doesn't mean that he was actually autistic or on the spectrum.
Yeah.
And none of that matters. The fact is that anytime we as Black people excel in areas that folks believe that we have no place in, it's problematic, and they can't understand how and or why, because they choose to not see our excellence.
And as true as that is, I want to say something, and then just because this has been a little heavier, I want you can have something to like to round it off or top it off, I'll say.
You want me to top you off? That's what you want.
Be nice. So
please.
What?
I said please. You in the house.
I'm in the house.
Talking about somebody splashing on you. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't ask for that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
They were splashing on everybody.
Too bad.
But just
you should have stayed out the way. Go ahead. Finish saying what you were saying.
Oh my God.
Call him now, honey.
Black people who hate themselves or who think that their proximity to others really is taking its fucking toll on me, yo. And I know that people are doing it because there is money in clicks and interviews and speaking circuits and all of those things. But like, it's like making me violently angry, yo. So the OG Clarence dumbass, you got Byron Donalds, you got Brandon Tatum, you got Candace Owens, you got all these fucking goofs. And then, that gets put into the ecosystem. And not I don't want to shout to him, Stephen Hill. What's his name? Stephen A. Smith. So you have all these people who are just saying shit, and sometimes it's okay to be quiet or don't speak on something. And it's just really frustrating when like we have so much that we're fighting, and there's people who supposed to be within the tribe that are like causing dissent and being contrarians or free thinkers, as they want to say, or any of that dumb shit. And for me, like, if you don't have an undying love for your people, you're on the opposite side of the tracks for me. I want nothing to do with you.
Well, they know that.
Full stop.
They know that they're there, and you've heard the saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And so to be surprised, and you can be angered, you can have a feeling, but again, to dwell in that, like, I wouldn't even mention their name. They know who the fuck they are. They know who they are, what they are.
I'm saying their names because there are people on the local level that are doing similar things.
Again,
I'm telling all you fucking bozos, stay away from me.
Okay.
I promise you. Stay away from me.
So
I am not entertaining tolerating any of it. Stay far away from me. Period. I'm standing on that. This shit is fucking insane, yo.
It's not new. So like
It's
for
not
me,
new, Leah,
I
but
don't.
like in our lifetime, we have never seen it to this. We've read about this in books or maybe seen it in some movies where we're all slaves or we can't drink out of fountains. We've seen that.
We've been
But
experiencing it, right?
nah, man.
We've
And
been experiencing it, and I don't know why it seems like it's new level to you. I mean,
when you was in English high, you experienced it. You experienced this?
what part of it are you referring to?
I don't know.
So
It's a fucking dark cloud, yo.
because you're allowing it to be a dark cloud.
But
You're allowing it to be a dark cloud.
No, that's fair.
Right? Like we've gone into stores, we've been followed around, certain things have been said. Now yes, before Trump, I've been called the N-word to my face by a white person.
Really? You have?
Yes.
I know that.
Yes. This was a few years back.
While we were together? Well, I mean, clearly. Where was this?
When I was bus monitoring.
Oh, the little kid.
No, not in that was the classroom. And he didn't talk, he was talking about, the child was talking about me, but he didn't say it to me. But it was an adult male, white male, that got on the school bus and said it to me.
You told me about it in real time?
I don't know what you mean by in real time.
Like you told me about it right when it happened?
I didn't call you off the school bus and tell you no.
I don't remember that. Was he one of the parents?
He didn't even have anything to do with none of the children. He was upset that the bus had pulled over and was waiting for the parents to pick up the kid. He wasn't being blocked, just entitled.
Jesus Christ.
Just entitled. So for me, you know what I'm saying? Like when you ask me.
And this is when Biden was in office?
Sure.
I don't know. And I hate to give people, I mean, ultimately it's giving people power to like push buttons and whatever, but I also feel like I don't know. I'm not going to say any more about it, but I just can't. Yeah.
So for me, it's not new. And for you, it's not new either. I think a lot of times, some of the things that we talk about or in the way that we live, like we choose to be oblivious to certain things or choose not to give certain things much attention, right? And the things that we don't give attention to, it doesn't mean that they don't exist, but it's just not at the top of our list, right? And so for me, yes, that orange person in the house frustrates me to no end, right? Because he just represents evil to me. However, we have that same type of evilness and same type of entitlement walking around amongst us, whether they be the same complexion as us or not. It's always been there and it's always there. So for me, I'm not giving you any validation. I'm not going to acknowledge your bullshit and just keep it pushing. I don't have to say, stay away from me. Know why? I know who you are. I see you. I see the things that you are doing. So guess where I'm going to be? I'm going to stay away from you. And that's just that. That's just that.
Well, I'm staying away from them too. But if I happen to be around a bunch of people and Eric Benet singing, and then women just start splashing all over the place. Like, I can't help being in proximity to that. So I do not want to bear the brunt or the punishment of being in proximity. I had nothing to do with that.
Of course, you chose to stay.
You can call Dane, or you can send him an email.
You chose to stay around.
Leah, I like him. I like chocolate legs.
Clearly.
I like sometimes I cry.
And so here's the other. So let me
talk.
Song? Let me talk to him.
What's the name of it? Is it Sometimes I Cry?
Don't ask me. You like it so much, you should know.
I think it's Sometimes I Cry.
Mm-hmm.
All I dreams.
Anyway.
There's no way. Yeah.
I'm glad you're having a good time. I'm going to be having a grand time soon, too. Anyway.
That's Sometimes I Cry. That's the name. That's how it goes. Yeah, like, it was just crazy. Like, I didn't have an umbrella. It was like, oh my God, it's crazy. Anyway, shout out to everyone that was there. Yeah. So what's your thing, babe?
I don't have nothing.
Oh my God, Leah. All right, so what's your parting words then?
Hey.
Oh my God. You're already starting.
Be vigilant, be safe.
No. Give parting words of, like, you can either speak to,
be vigilant and be safe.
You could speak
to, like, prayed
parents.
Up.
You could speak to parents of.
Stay prayed up. Tap in with your loved ones all the time and at all costs. Just, I wish nothing but love, respect, and light for all. You want more, you say more.
I'll say
I'm always trying to put something in my mouth. Okay. What?
I will say stay safe, stay vigilant.
So you're gonna repeat my words.
And just keep a stake nearby. And if the vampires come close, you know what to do with it. At this point, we're in a real life centers, guys. So,
find your happy place. Stay in it for a while.
I found mine. You told me I should have left.
Nobody will judge you.
Told you. It's crazy.
Okay. Stay in your happy place. Find a happy place. Stay in it for a while. Stay in it as long as you can.
Shit.
Stay in it as long as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Because.
So your happy place is in between somebody else's legs?
Leah, I was not in between anyone's legs. I was there and I was sitting on my seat.
Okay, so your happy place.
People were squirting all over the place.
So your happy place is getting other people's juices on you. Also,
I didn't ask for it.
Whether you asked for it or not, you sitting up here proclaiming it was your happy place. So it's noted, honey.
No,
that's all.
It's kind of like.
So when I come home with
listen,
pearls and diamonds,
that's crazy,
and all
Leah. Because that's crazy. So it's like the 4D movies when you go and see the movies and then you're watching something.
Are we done here?
And then like the water splashes and then like this mist that hits you. That's what it was like. I was sitting there listening to Eric Benet.
I'm happy for you.
And it was just mist.
I'm
like,
happy
holy
for you.
shit.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to rain on somebody.
Nice, Leah. All right, guys. On that note, I don't really know. I don't know.
We out. We're locked and loaded. We're locked and loaded.
No.
No, we're not out.
No.
Oh.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. You know what it is. We're locked and loaded. Yeah.
Oh, now? Okay. Love you guys. Talk soon. We're locked and loaded. We out.
No.
I've already done it.
Now do it. This is stupid, yeah.
We're locked and loaded.
We're locked and loaded.
We're locked and loaded.